Welcome to 100 Yards of Football. It's our college football team preview. Today, we preview the Tennessee Volunteers out of my great home state. If you like the video today, please comment and share it. The two gentlemen that's going to help me break down the Tennessee Vols are very knowledgeable when it comes to pro and college football. The first gentleman, Lord have mercy, he's the most talented high school football coach in the state of Georgia. My man, Mr. Kevin the Bull Jones. He's been a head coach at Mount Zion, Dutchtown, Riverdale High School, and Lovejoy. The second gentleman, hey man, I can't say no more. He's very talented. He was All-American at Florida State University, and he was a first-round draft pick in the 1981 NFL Draft, 25th selection overall by the Atlanta Falcons, Mr. Bobby Butler. If you like the video today, please comment and share it as we break down the Tennessee Volunteers. Well, the gentleman that's going to break down and start off is my man, Mr. Bobby Butler. So tell us, why is the Tennessee Volunteers are going to be that team in the SEC East?
I tell you, I'm excited about this team. Kudos to Coach Jeremy Pruitt. I think it's his year right now. But, you know, let's go back to last season, Vincent. And one of the things I want to say, the worst and the best thing happened to Tennessee in the season opener last year against Georgia State. And that was they lost their season opener against Georgia State last year, 38-30. That was the worst thing happened to them, but it's also the best thing because they turned it around. And 4 months later, just 4 months later, Tennessee won the Gator Bowl against Indiana. So we always know this, Coach. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. They didn't start the season out glamorous, of course. Nobody would have ever expected them to lose to Georgia State. But they ended up winning a prestigious bowl game in the Gator Bowl against Indiana. What a great turnaround they had. And here's the other thing. They finished third in the SEC East last year. So they got everything to look forward to in this upcoming season because they got a quarterback coming back who's a senior, Jared Garantano. He's a senior, got 25 starts in 34 games. And I'm going to tell y'all something. If he continued to play like he did in the end of the season last year, the SEC East better watch out. Because we know when you got a seasoned quarterback, you got a chance in college football. And they got a seasoned quarterback. And so, hey, look out for them. I'm excited about this team. Then I look at the rest of their offense. Their strongest room is their offensive line. And y'all hear me say this all the time. If you want to build a program, if you want to have a winning team, you got to be good up front on both sides of the ball. Well, they got 4 former 5-star recruits in the starting lineup. Start with Georgia transfer, Cade Mays. Left guard, Trey Smith. He's an elite talent. Sophomore tackles, Wanya Morris and Darnell Wright. They're the X factors. And I'm telling y'all, they are strong up front. They're going to be moving some bodies around, and they're going to be protecting the passer. It's going to be off the chain. At running back, they got Eric Gray. He's coming off an impressive freshman year. But Ty Chandler led them in rushing last year. So they got 2 guys who can tote the mail for them next year. And y'all know how football is going now. Hardly anybody got 1 running back carrying the ball all the time. So they got 2 quality backs and got some incoming freshmen that are going to help as well. Last year, they had their biggest losses in the wide receiver room. They lost some guys. But remember, I always tell y'all, wide receivers and running backs are a dime a dozen. Josh Palmer is the leader in that wide receiver room. And I tell you what, he's going to get it done. You got transfer D'Angelo Gibbs and grad transfer Velus Jones. Ramel Keaton and Cedric Tillman are promising sophomores. But expect a push from this guy right here, incoming freshman Jalen Hyatt. And Malachi Whitman, who was committed to Florida State University. That's okay, Malachi. Go where your heart telling you go. Do what you got to do because we're going to get it done in Tallahassee anyhow, right? But they'll get it done. So they got a strong offense. They got a gunslinger who can get it done, who is really growing his game at the end of the year last year. I pray and hope that he start the year out that way because they got a tough schedule, right? They got a tough schedule. But on the defensive side of the ball, they're strong because that's the biggest part of Tennessee's turnaround last year was how they played ball on the other side of the ball. So let's take a look at them. Up front, well, let's just talk about the interior, right? Let's talk about the interior. They got Tua was a freshman All-American last year, along with Kavarius Crouch. Let me tell you something. Two of the most athletic and scariest linebacker duo in college football this year. Remember, I told you that. Those two guys combined going to wreak a lot of havoc on some offenses in the SEC this year. All right? Now, they got to replace the production of Darrell Taylor. But that's okay because guess who they got? They got Biscuit's son, Cornelius Bennett's son. Kavon Bennett is that guy to get it done. Y'all watch out for him this year. Kavon Bennett, Cornelius Bennett's son, outside linebacker for Tennessee. Then you got, on the D-line front, you got Emmett Gooden, all right? You know, they're going to have a strong push up in the front, up in the middle, right? They got him. They got Darryl Milton. They got Aubrey Solomon. Hey, look, they're going to be straight on the D side. And then in the secondary, they got Brice Thompson. He's one of the most dangerous players on the defense. He can make it happen. Cornerback. He going to make it happen. Along with Alante Taylor, Sean Schamberger, those guys going to get it done on the defensive side of the ball. And here's the other thing. They have a great kicker in Brent Seneglia. He's an awesome kicker. So the way I look at this, I'm looking at their schedule. Maybe the toughest schedule in the nation, Vincent. I'm not sure. But it's tough. I got them going 9-2. And here's the thing. Now, they play Oklahoma early in the year. That's going to be a tough game for them. But between Florida and Georgia, I believe they're going to get one of them games, Coach. They're going to get one of them games. Florida or Georgia, I don't know which one. They're going to pick somebody. They're going to get them. Now, they play Georgia a little later in the year. They play Florida in September. They play Georgia in November. It's going to be quite interesting. Now, they do also play Alabama. That's going to be a tough one for them. So that's why I say they're going to be 9-2. All right? At the worst, 8-3. So I look for great things out of this group, University of Tennessee. I think they have arrived. They're going to shock a lot of folks. They're going to beat some teams they're not supposed to beat this year. The one thing that I hope that they take care of this year, just one piece of business, don't lose to a team that you're supposed to beat. If they can do that this year, they're going to have an awesome year. Like I say, I look at them at the top end, 9-2, or at the worst, 8-3 season.
Well said, Brother Butler. When I think about Tennessee, and of course, I'm from the 901 Memphis, Tennessee, I'm going to start with the head football coach. The guy was a defensive coordinator when Florida State won the national championship a couple of years ago. And I know Mr. Jeremy Pruitt was special then, but I didn't know how special he was till last season. And he said something that stuck in my mind that really goes in life. You never really know how you are as a person, the people around you, or your team, or your family until you go through adversity. When they went 0-2 last year, everybody in the state of Tennessee and on the national level said he wouldn't last to the 5th game of the year. He was under tremendous pressure. Then they went 1-4, and he turned it around, and they won 7 out of 8. Yes. And ended the season with a tremendous bowl victory over Indiana. Then he comes back and has the top 10 recruiting class in the country. So he's got Tennessee back where they won their first national championship under Phil Fulmer. And the players they had on that team, Darren Walker, Dwayne Goodrich, Al Wilson, Peerless Price, Chad Clifton. Look at this recruiting class that's coming in here now. To me personally, I'm going to start with the quarterback position. If I was the University of Tennessee, I put it just like this. There he is, Coach Jones. He's back with us. Harrison Bailey will be my guy, hands down, because the other gentlemen have struggled. I'm going with the two freshmen regardless of what they've done in spring practice, because I think Harrison Bailey is that guy coming out of Marietta High School. Then, the most important thing, what I like, they're going back into my hometown of Memphis, Tennessee. Somebody told me last week on the show that I don't talk about the 901. Now he's back, and he's going to have his say. But I tell you, they got 3 great linebackers out of 901 in their freshman class. Everybody in the country, including Alabama, wants this kid, Bryson Eason, 6'2", 270. Remember LaVon Kirkland, Coach Jones?
Absolutely.
His skill set is just as good. Terrari McDonald, and then Martarius French. You should know about him too, Brother Butler. Florida State wanted him too. All of them went to UT. And I don't even have to say nothing about their wide receiving group from a recruiting standpoint. You already brought up one guy, Brother Butler, Malachi Watman. But I'm going to talk about Jalen Hyatt. And then I'm going to talk about the young man that Coach Jones used to coach against. I'm not going to say what he did against y'all, but a young man out of Morrow, Georgia, Jimmy Calloway. So at the end of the day, I'm very, very excited about the University of Tennessee football program. They got the right man in place. He was recruited at a high level. And Coach Jones, before I move on, I got something special for you and Brother Butler. Gentlemen, are y'all ready? Gentlemen. Well, I wish that I was the old Rocky Top down in the Tennessee Hills. Because that ain't no small. And no Rocky Top. It ain't no telephone bill. Tennessee coming back. And this is what you, Coach Jones, and the University of Alabama. Can I say it one more time, fellas? Can we say Rocky Top?
Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee.
Can you see it? Now, Coach Jones, you can end it.
All right. Well, listen, that is awesome. You know, and you're right. I've been fighting for some talk about Tennessee, and I'm going to explain to you why. That's a great rendition of that song. You guys did a fabulous job, and I tell you right now, you deserve a Grammy because I love the acoustics of it. But let me explain to you what's about to happen this fall, and I've been waiting for a long time to talk about it. So I'm going to break it down for you real quickly. First of all, there is a beast in the East, and it's not Florida. It's not Georgia. There is a new beast in the East. And for all of those that follow SEC football, if you pay attention to what's been happening in the last couple of recruiting classes, Coach Pruitt has done an outstanding job of bringing in top 10 caliber players for the last couple of years. Now, where does that play into this whole role? Well, let me show you, Vincent. Let me just show you, see, because at the end of the day, what you have to understand is Coach Pruitt, as well as Coach Ansley, the defensive coordinator, and Coach Pruitt, the head coach, came from a place where they understand what it looks like to create the building blocks for success. Okay, follow me closely now. Don't blink your eyes because this won't take long. Okay, one thing that was mentioned to me when Tennessee came down to play Georgia last year, a coach said to me, they sure are big at Georgia. They are huge. Well, guess what? That same person that said that to me turned around and made sure in their recruiting class, they got those kids that look like monsters at Tennessee. Once again, the path to play Bama in the SEC championship game is going to be over there up in Knoxville. Knoxville is going to be represented because they're following the whole recipe for success, the best players. Tennessee grabbed 13. Do y'all hear me? I'm going to say this again because sometimes people don't hear it. I'm going to say it again. They grabbed 13 four-star players. 13. You only signed 25 kids. So if you sign 25 kids and more than half of them are considered in the upper echelon of recruiting, what does that tell you? I tell you exactly what it tells you. After the loss against Georgia last year, Tennessee went 7-1. The only team they lost to. Oh, my head hurt. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me touch this head again. My head started hurting. But in that game against Alabama, they knocked Tua out. So, Coach Ansley's defense, and they had a star-studded defensive staff. A lot of those guys have moved on to NFL positions. So what does that tell you about what Coach Pruitt is doing? My hat's off to what he's created, because Coach Pruitt came from the high school ranks as a high school coach. He was one of those coaches that got the opportunity to coach on the next level. People might not know this, but Coach Pruitt spent some time with the legendary coach that used to be on that show Friday Night Lights. Okay, Coach Prost. He was on that program. He was on that staff, guys. So here he is, paying his dues, working up the ladder, getting a chance to be with Coach Saban, learning how to put together the ingredients for success. And just as you mentioned, Bobby, early in the season, they had a boo-boo against Georgia State. This whole place in Atlanta went upside down. Everybody at Georgia State downtown, it turned into a party down there because they beat Tennessee. What did Coach Pruitt do? He gathered the troops, said it's going to be all right. Okay. See, them diamonds that you see people wear, see, they don't come out the mountains already like that. They go through some trials and tribulations. So Coach Pruitt and his staff made it through. Then they had a hiccup in an overtime game against BYU. And everybody started pointing fingers. What did Coach Pruitt do? He said, stay together. Coach Ansley, Coach Chaney, coach that came from Georgia, Coach Jim Chaney. So you have coordinators that know what it's like to be in the fire and have success. So at the end of the day, viewers, what I'm really trying to tell you is, when you really want to talk about the beast is coming. You know, as they say, mama, there go that man. Here come that man, mama. Here they come. Tennessee Volunteers. Okay, 10-2. It's going to be tough. Okay, yes, I agree with you, Bobby. They're going to knock one of these two teams off. Remember what I've said to you in previous forecasts last week? I said whoever comes out of SEC East is going to have one loss. They're going to have one. Okay, but the trigger man for Tennessee, Jared Garantano, went through his tough season. Now he gets to play the superstar. The same thing that Joe Burrows did his junior year. He had an okay season. Then his senior year, he had an S on his chest. So with that being said, folks, with 9 starters on offense, 6 starters on defense, Coach Ansley is going to have the secondary on lockdown. And I agree with you, Vincent. I got a chance to look at some of these kids that they got out of the Tennessee area, and my goodness, they look like Godzilla. They look like monsters. They can run. They are big. They are fast. They are just what that coach said to me. He said, man, we got to get players look like that. And guess what he did? He went and got it. So, yes, Jimmy Calloway, a great player out of Clayton County. Yes, I'll go ahead and admit it right now. He had a great game against us, and he did have an S on his chest. He was one of the hidden kept gems in that recruiting class as far as speed is concerned. He can do it all. And he had offers from every school in the country. And hats off to Coach Weeks at Morrow High School. Much love to Clayton County. Yes, they do have great athletes, but they have great coaches as well. And Jimmy Calloway is going to show everybody, as you say, Vincent, won't take you high. You know, I can't hit that high note like you do, but I know you can. But at the end of the day, Tennessee, 10-2, they will be in the playoffs. We'll tell you, they will be one of those top 4 teams. I said it right here.
Wow.
That being said, if you like the video, then please comment and share it. Like the great people say down in my hometown, the 901, the legend. To my boy, his son, Mr. David Porter, original songwriter of Stack Records. He wrote that song along with the great Isaac Hayes, Shaft. And they said Shaft was a bad shut your mouth. And Coach Jones and Coach Butler just said the Tennessee Vols are going to be a bad shut your mouth in the SEC East. If you like the video today, please come in and share it. We are 100 Yards of Football. Y'all have a blessed evening.